Have you ever felt a spark with someone only to wonder, was that attraction or just my brain tricking me? It's more common than you think. Attraction seems simple, but science reveals it's much more complex. Here's the twist. Artificial intelligence, often seen as emotionless, may actually interpret attraction better than we can. Let's dive into how AI is reshaping our understanding of attraction. Attraction is just about looks. The first thing most people associate with attraction is physical appearance. A nice smile, clear skin, and an appealing face, all these things seem to be the universal signs of attraction. But science shows us how off-track this belief really is. For years, scientists have studied what makes someone attractive, and the results are eye-opening. While physical traits like symmetry and skin health do play a role in our initial perceptions, they are nowhere near as important as we've been led to believe. What's even more interesting is recent research showing that voice is actually a stronger predictor of attraction than looks. In fact, many people rated others as more attractive based on their voice quality than their physical appearance. This is a huge revelation because it highlights something people often overlook: attraction is multisensory. It's not just about what you see, it's about how you hear and experience someone too. How your brain tricks you into thinking you are attracted. We like to think of ourselves as rational beings, but the truth is, our brains are constantly running on autopilot, often tricking us into misinterpreting our feelings. Here's where the concept of misattribution of arousal comes in. Basically, it means your brain might misinterpret what you're feeling in certain situations. For example, imagine meeting someone in a high-stress scenario, like riding a roller coaster or engaging in an intense workout. Your heart is racing, you're on edge, and your palms are sweaty. Your brain senses these physical changes and quickly jumps to conclusions: I'm feeling intense emotions. It must be attraction, but in reality, what you're feeling is likely excitement or fear, not true romantic attraction. This misreading happens because your brain often doesn't separate emotions like adrenaline and love as distinctly as you might think. It simply interprets physiological changes and assumes they're all linked to attraction. The science behind true attraction. Attraction isn't as simple as chemistry or looks, it's a complex mix of biology, psychology, behavior, and context. Biologically, attraction involves the release of several key chemicals in the brain. Dopamine, for instance, makes you feel motivated and eager to pursue a person. Oxytocin helps build that emotional connection and bond. And serotonin, it often causes obsessive thoughts about someone. So while physical attraction might trigger some of these reactions, it's the deeper emotional chemicals that are more responsible for building a real connection. Psychologically, people are generally more attracted to others who share their values, interests, and emotional intelligence. It's not just about good looks, it's about how two people connect on a deeper, more meaningful level. This psychological similarity often predicts long-term attraction far better than superficial traits. Why we misread signals of attraction. Even when attraction is real, people often misinterpret the signals they get. A lot of this is due to something called the liking gap, a phenomenon where people consistently underestimate how much others like them. In simpler terms, you might think someone isn't interested in you when, in fact, they are, but they're just not showing it in the way you expect. On the other hand, you might misread someone's polite or nervous behavior as disinterest when, in reality, they could be attracted to you. This is because our instincts are often geared towards self-preservation and avoiding rejection. We tend to focus on superficial cues like body language or small talk instead of understanding the true emotional context of the interaction. Why AI doesn't misread attraction. Now here's where things get really fascinating. Most people think of AI as cold, unemotional, and incapable of understanding human attraction. But recent advancements in machine learning have proven otherwise. In fact, AI can interpret attraction more accurately than we can. For instance, in some studies, AI algorithms have been trained to analyze neural data from people's brains to predict what they find attractive. These AI systems don't rely on stereotypical ideas of beauty. Instead, they analyze raw brain signals to determine someone's true preferences, cutting through the biases that often cloud human judgment. AI can also outperform humans in predicting the outcomes of romantic interactions. In a study where large language models were used to analyze speed dating conversations, AI was able to predict mutual attraction more accurately than human observers, showing that AI can detect patterns of interest that we might miss. Why we get chemistry all wrong. People often think that chemistry between two people is something magical, an instant connection that happens the moment you meet. But psychologists have shown that what we interpret as chemistry is often just a mix of physical arousal and emotional projection. For example, being physically attracted to someone might trigger dopamine, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're truly bonded to them. This is why many people experience what they think is chemistry with someone, only for it to fade after a few interactions. Real, lasting attraction is based on deeper emotional connections, shared values, and sustained engagement, not just the initial spark. How AI filters affect attraction. Interestingly, AI doesn't just analyze attraction, it can also manipulate it. Researchers at the University of Glasgow conducted an experiment where they used AI-powered facial filters during video dates to subtly change how people smiled. Even though participants weren't aware of these changes, they rated each other as more attractive after the filters were applied. This demonstrates how malleable our perceptions of attraction are. Even the smallest changes in how we interact with others, often influenced by AI, can significantly alter our feelings. And because we're often unaware of these subtle cues, we misread our attraction signals all the time. Parasocial attraction to AI characters. AI is no longer just about robots and algorithms, it's starting to influence our emotional lives in surprising ways. As virtual assistants and AI-driven characters become more lifelike, people are beginning to form emotional attachments to them. This is known as parasocial attraction, where individuals develop one-sided relationships with characters that seem real to them, even if they're not human. This isn't a sci-fi scenario, it's happening right now. In a study published in 2026, researchers found that when AI characters were made physically attractive and interacted with users in meaningful ways, participants experienced real emotional responses, similar to the feelings people get in human relationships. The real message behind attraction. So, what does this all mean? Attraction isn't just about beauty, and it certainly isn't always about immediate chemistry. What truly matters is emotional connection. Attraction is driven by shared values, meaningful communication, and a consistent reciprocal connection over time. AI can help us understand attraction better because it doesn't rely on our emotional biases or preconceived notions about beauty. Instead, it focuses on patterns of behavior and neural data to offer a more objective view of attraction. True attraction. What does it look like? True attraction isn't just about feeling a spark in the moment. It's about mutual emotional response, shared values, and meaningful interaction. It's the kind of attraction that builds over time, supported by open communication and a real connection. So, next time you feel that spark with someone, ask yourself, is this attraction, or is my brain just reacting to some other emotion? And remember, AI might just have the tools to understand it better than you can. If you found this eye-opening, remember, attraction is more than just chemistry. It's science and signals. If you want to keep learning and uncovering the truth behind human behavior, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next one.